But maybe seeking alpha is not the only answer. Is there possibly a slightly different answer? Is it easier said than done to create alpha? We can say, is there a process, is there a way to create sustainable alpha? We've believed over the years that there are ways and means of creating alpha rather than only seeking alpha. So you just don't pick up what is available on the table. You go in and you put in a significant amount of effort towards building out things. And from that process, which is what we call the process of, let's say, generating alpha, first way to do it is if you can think through an operating model. So generating efficiencies through operations. I think a lot of us are from the manufacturing background. I would use that as an example. So company A. So we often say company A has better execution capabilities than company B. I mean, Reliance is probably known to be one of the best execution companies. Now, what are they really doing? They're generating an alpha from a day-to-day business perspective vis-a-vis their rivals. And that could be sustainable alpha if they've really cracked the art of execution very well. Or I was telling you about Pramod, we introduced Pramod right in the beginning now. True North, for example, and there are quite a few other funds who have taken the entire approach of private equity investing to a different level. So private equity investing could be you just invest and you forget. You invest and maybe you get on the board and you do a little bit of value addition. You invest, you get on the board, you get into more details, you probably, help in recruitment and strategy and a bunch of things. And then there are funds who actually take over the entire operations and drive the alpha generation process. So each of them has a very different approach to life. And there is a way of creating alpha that happens through this process. Of course, there are examples now that we are seeing of operating real estate funds. So there are many, many different examples where fund managers or operating companies are trying to create alpha.
So most of us enjoy a well-made Whopper burger. Well, at least all of us who enjoy eating burgers, like it. We enjoy it because it tastes good. And it tastes good because a lot of effort has gone into putting it together. You need to identify the correct ingredients. You then need to source those ingredients. And finally, you need to ensure that, the quality of those ingredients are very, very good. After you've put all of this together, you need the right chef and his team to kind of, put all of this together in the correct proportion every single time. This entire effort ensures that each customer enjoys a perfectly made burger. So you must be thinking, why am I discussing a burger when I really need to talk about operating alpha? The analogy works well because our investors enjoy consistent returns on their investments in a very similar manner. So let me explain to you how we create operating alpha in one of our products, which is commodity arbitrage. So most of you all know that we target an annualized return of about 11 to 13% on the commodity arbitrage product. Now let me explain to you how we actually achieve this target by creating alpha through operations. So this return target can be split into two parts. Part one is the market beta, and part two is the alpha creation that we do. The market beta on this, low risk product is about 6.5% probably today, between 6 and 7, which is slightly above the domestic cost of borrowing. We do 3 levels of alpha creation above this. The first one is operating alpha 1, which is all about commodity selection, geography selection, data collection, and data analysis. We spend countless man days analyzing primary data, which we have gathered over the years. This process of, analyzing this data, gathering this data, helps us in identifying the correct commodity to construct the portfolio for our clients. We then diversify this portfolio across those identified commodities, and we further split this across multiple geographies. This entire process allows us to generate about 1.5-2% alpha. Operating alpha 2 is all about sourcing and selling the physical commodity. Over the last 7 years, we've built a very large network of procurement and sales, which spans across 200 different locations in India. So instead of procuring ready to deliver commodities which have already been deposited in a warehouse, we're actually going one step back in the value chain and procuring these commodities from as close to the source or the origin as possible. And this same network, which allows us to originate, then also allows us to sell these commodities across these multiple geographies over a period of time. This entire origination and sales capability then effectively allows us to generate about a 1 to 1.5% alpha over a period of time. Finally, operating Alpha 3 is all about storing the commodity in these warehouses. So there are two ways to store these commodities in a warehouse. The first is through a physical ownership route, where one owns a commodity by way of a physical warehouse receipt. And the second is through a dematerialized ownership route. Now, if you think about it, this process is actually very similar to how the equity markets were in the late 90s, where one could own, let's say, a Reliance share through a physical share certificate, or by having a dematerialized account in which you would own it as well. You fast forward this to 2020, we have actually the same functionality on commodity markets. Today, the analyzed cost saving between the physical storage route and the dematerialized storage route is about 2.5%, which is effectively how we create Alpha 3. Now, when you add Alpha 1, Alpha 2, and Alpha 3 together, we then reach our targeted return of about 11 to 13. And the total alpha generation through operations by this entire process is about 4.5 to about 6%. So as you can see, this entire process of consistent alpha generation has allowed us to constantly outperform our targets over the years.